Hi everyone, welcome to my online Pranic initiation that will take 7 days. The purpose of this video is to prepare you for the process itself. During and throughout this video, I'm going to give you logistics, recommendations. I'm going to tell you what we're going to do every day. I'm going to answer the basic questions that you must be pondering until now. I can also tell you that I highly recommend joining an actual physical process because you will find that it's more difficult doing this thing at home or wherever it is that you are. It's more difficult when you still have your cell phone, which we take away in the group processes. It's more difficult to reach a certain level of awareness throughout exercises, and it's without the group energy. That is essential. I believe it's very, very essential because I saw a lot of people do it by themselves and fail, and I saw the same people that try to do it by themselves succeed. However, everybody is very unique and special. Sometimes it's our spiritual ego. And if you think that it's proper for you, then I'm very happy and you found the right place for you. I'm going to say this many, many times throughout the course because I can tell you there's a profound difference in the people who finish a process that is physical with the group itself and coming to another country and all of that, and people who are attempting to do it by themselves at home. However, so many people asked me to do this online course because they couldn't make it to a process. Either they couldn't afford one or they didn't want to travel. So I wanted to make one and let you take the responsibility on your own path, because a lot of this is about your spiritual responsibility. Becoming a breatharian can be simple. However, the integration time right after the process is usually more difficult. We're going to dedicate the last 2 days to the integration process. The integration is all the advice and all the tips I can give you that have to do with the path you're going to take when you go back home. I want to explain a few things about the logistics. When you do this process, it's going to take 7 days. You have to find a place that you feel comfortable with in an environment that is supporting. Environment that is supporting means if you do choose to do this at home and not run away from home for the duration of time, which I highly recommend if you're going to do this by yourself. I'll just tell you that the initial process was 21 days alone. Okay, alone, completely alone, separated from the world, 3 weeks of complete vipassana and silence. So that's the original process that we stopped using a long time ago. And the group processes seem to work really, really well. Shorter processes, more intense processes, the kind of like. So if you don't have any supporting environment, wait until you do, or I will teach you how to get that support that you need. If you're living with your parents, living with your partner, you have to explain to them, you have to maybe even show them about this. Don't make any long-term commitments about this lifestyle. Sometimes we want something, we think we want something. As much as you can focus on the present moment, that's the way that's going to help you afterwards when you have to make these long-term commitment decisions. When I finished my own initiation, I went 1 year without food, without solid food, just liquids and not that much. And that's called, by the way, a level 3. A level 3 is still a breatharian that plays around with food occasionally. And this is what most of my students find themselves. After this initiation, I promise you that you will be able to eat half of what you used to eat. And some of you are going to be able to reduce even more. Some of you are going to go pranic completely. And it's very, very rare in this world. But I don't recommend being one of those 4 or 5 people in the world that you might have heard of that also go without water, okay? That's a completely different story. I'm going to bring it up later. And they do exist, by the way. They've been scientifically proven that they exist. There was some studies, and one of them in India, Prajani. Very interesting stuff. Every day throughout this initiation, I'm going to give you recommendations for that day. It's either that it's going to be physical exercises or a specific meditation, or I'm going to recommend start reading a book, or I'm going to recommend a video, a movie online, or I'm going to send it to you as a part of the pack. Some recommendations that you can already start doing is preparing yourself mentally. Now, since you already subscribed to this online course, I assume that you're already ready for what is about to come. And what is about to come is 2 days of preparations, 3 or 3.5 days, depending on you. Some people go even more, of complete dry fast. A complete dry fast means no food, no water. This is a soft dry fast. In other words, you can take a shower, you can brush your teeth, as long as you're not swallowing even 1 drop of water. Okay, and it's very important. And about the dry fast, I'm going to answer most of your questions on the second day video. In other words, the day that we prepare for the dry fast itself. Tomorrow, or the day that you choose, the first day, is going to be just juice. Any type of juice. It can be organic juice, it can be juice that you buy, but I prefer as natural as you can. Making it by yourself is awesome. The second day is going to be just water, and then we go into 3 or 4 days of dry fast, depending on you, and then we exit the dry fast safely. And like I said, every day I'm going to give you the recommendations, the instructions for that specific day, but there's going to be a structure. There's going to be every day something that you do at least once or twice, a physical activity at least once or twice, a meditation or a breathing technique that I will send you once or twice, and all of these things will align eventually in the end to create the complete structure of the process. Now, some of the things that happen during this reset is that there is an alignment of the 4 bodies. The 4 bodies is the emotional body that you're familiar with, that it highly affects the physical body, that the one that you see in the mirror and most people think that they are. The spiritual body that nobody understands and most people neglect. And in a sentence I can tell you it's, how much do I understand that I'm not a human being seeking spirituality, but a spirit seeking a short human experience. And the last is the mental body, the belief system. All 4 transition during this process. In other words, the physical body has to go through a deep reset of its systems. Naturally, a human being is born healthy. And everything that is between us and that health is obstacles that we add. Naturally, a human being, a baby, laughs, right? We're loving, we're caring, we enjoy life. Everything that is between ourselves and our happiness that we have put is all the obstacles. And what happens during this process is that those obstacles are being picked out, dealt with, come up to the surface or surface up in an emotional level and on a physical level. In other words, it's not easy, but your body naturally wants to detox itself. In other words, right now, every animal on the planet, when it gets sick, it fasts. But the first couple of days are usually a little bit more difficult because we have the detox symptoms itself, which are very common amongst most people, and some rare occasions they're very difficult. And you might be one of those. And it begins with your concept and belief system that is a mental construct of how easy is this going to be for me. If already you are afraid, then you have to work on that belief. You're going to make it through. Nobody has ever died in one of these processes. No one. You're going to make it. It's all about how you're going to make it. Are you going to get to the end saying, oh, my food, water, why did I do this? Or are you going to say, wow, I've learned something and it empowered me. So when I'm mentioning the transition of the 4 bodies, it's because there's a structure to it. The physical body throughout the entire week is going to go through a transition because you're going to reset it. The difference between a fast and a pranic initiation or a breatharian initiation is in your intention. Some of you probably noticed when you just started looking into this that there's a little, you can say, intuition or intuitive call that has told you you gotta do this. It's either that you gotta find Ray because Ray is your guide, or this is something that you want to experience and it's going to teach you quite a lot throughout this life and you couldn't ignore it. So it's either that you bought the course or you're planning to do the course itself and you're preparing yourself for this. There's a little ego that is a little bit afraid, and that's great because before any good change in life, we're afraid just a little bit. And there's another little one that is excited. Is excited to experience. When we're stepping out of our comfort zone, that's actually where we're going to grow and mature, right? Because we've become the person that we have become only from going up and down the emotional train, up and down the experience train. And this is something that's going to happen throughout this week, alternatively as well. Some days are going to be easy. Some days are going to be very, very difficult. It depends on multiple factors, and it depends on your individuality. It depends how hard the detox is on your body. I've had people who are obese and unhealthy with the right attitude that had a great process and had a really easy time. And I've had the super health freaks that do everything right have a very difficult process. So it depends on so many different variables. I can't really tell you the specifics. I can tell you that in everything that you're going to go through throughout the reset or the dry fast and the process itself, there's a reason for that. There's something that comes to teach us. Sometimes, for example, for men, we are too strong and powerful and we need to be more feminine and humble. So we have a very difficult physical time because until now we have grown to trust our strength alone. And that opens our heart and our humbleness to an experience that we didn't think we're going to go through. And sometimes we think that we can do anything, and suddenly we commit to doing a 4 or 5 day dry fast. And you know something? You can get really tired. And you can just say to yourself, your mind is going to start playing games with you. You're going to ask yourself, why did I choose to do this? When am I going to exit this? Why I'm the type of person that is so extreme that chooses to do these type of different experiences? Why am I the black sheep of mice of the society that surrounds me? Why do I have to go and test all these weird things? I can already tell you that you are in the right place. It's not the things that we ponder that makes us, it's the action. If you've acted by taking this video course, or if you've acted by putting the intention, because that's what changes everything, it's the intention. I can tell you, for example, right now I'm 4-day fasting already, and I still have the energy and I still have everything I need. And right now, I don't know when you're watching this, but it's the coronavirus time in 2020, and everybody's quarantined at home. So I'm like, what should I do? I have all this energy. I want to continue fasting. I want to continue being a breatharian and live this lifestyle because I sleep less and I'm super healthy and I look younger than I am. And there's so many different things. I have more hours throughout the day. I don't like washing the dishes. I don't like shopping, and it saves me money. And there's so many positive things that you can take from this lifestyle. In order to do this process at home, you need to be disciplined. And when I say disciplined, I mean that you need to go through your mind and understand what triggers you emotionally. Because most people eat because of emotional needs. It's not that they need that much food, but most people indulge and overeat. And this is why you have people after 30 with a little belly already, and people don't understand yet the connection between the proper type of eating and your health and longevity. And because we always compare ourselves to society, we say, oh, compared to society, I'm more healthy, or I'm in a higher vibration, or my thoughts are more pure, but that's compared to society. I like to compare myself to the best version of myself. In addition to the daily videos that you're going to get in the process itself, I'm going to recommend to you specific videos that I made in the past that are going to explain to you a little bit more. And one of the bonuses that you get here is my online manifestation course, which right now costs between $15 and $100 in different online websites. The manifestation is very important when you become a breatharian. What happens is that you attract much more to yourself when you become more 5D in your consciousness. And because, like we said, your body is clean of toxins. You remember those obstacles I mentioned before? So those obstacles can be mental obstacles, in other words, limiting beliefs. It can be emotional obstacles. It can be physical obstacles like most people have today. Because people eat too much and the body doesn't have the time to clean itself properly. If you look in nature, you will see that all animals in nature, when they get sick, including your cat and your dog, will stop eating because the body has a natural response wanting to clean itself. Because we don't allow it, and our ancestors did allow it, we don't get to the point that the body is actually clean. In other words, most people have those obstacles, and those obstacles create resistances. Resistances for the energy, the chi, the prana, to flow naturally, as it wants to flow. It's like your mind will have a limiting belief, and it won't allow your peacefulness to rise up on different levels, of course. The manifestation course is highly recommended. You can use it over a course of a few days because I think it's about 3.5 hours in total. However, there are techniques throughout the manifestation course, as you probably understand, that combine spirituality with materialism and groundingness and flying. You probably connect more with me as a guide because I like to scientifically understand what it is that I'm teaching, what it is that I'm experiencing. Other recommendations I can give you for this week is be outside in the sun as much as you can, unless it's too warm and then you get sweaty. Walk barefoot, be in nature a little bit. This is a great time for introspection. Introspection, it means who am I? What am I? And don't try to get your mind to answer. Allow the question to echo in your subconscious. Introspection also means it's time to meet your guides, your higher self, the one that talks to you through what you call intuition. It's time to ask questions. It is time for you to ask existential questions. Existential questions are, who am I? Am I in the right job? Am I still in the right relationship? Am I doing things in the way that is proper for me? Is my energy being represented in this universe in the way that I would like to? Many people take this process very seriously, and after the process, when you see that your body is reset, you will be a little bit more connected to your higher self. Connecting with our higher self is something quite amazing. Of course, it can come with some struggles. Our ego wants to fight that, because our ego and our spirit are in the dual world, of course. They're constantly fighting one with the other. The ego is going to say, I don't want that change. And the spirit is going to say, but you've been waiting for that change for such a long time. Sometimes finishing this type of initiation causes you can say a snowball effect that changes many things in your life. Some people change their job. Some people make life-altering decisions like moving to another city. Because when you have 7 days to introspect, then a lot of things that you have been postponing because you've been a part of the rat race or a part of humanity that is always running and always stressful and never really has the time to stop and think. So now you have the time to stop and think. Your body is going to be a little bit without energy for a while, for a couple of days during the dry fast. And that energy is going to come back, and every day after the dry fast, you're going to get stronger and stronger until you get to 100% what you were, and some people go even more. If you practice yoga, you will notice that you're stretching much easier. If you practice meditation, you're going to notice that you step into that meditative state much faster. The meditative state is after a few minutes when your mind stopped harassing you with thoughts. So it goes like that. So there's so many different advantages that you're going to go through and experience throughout the process itself. I highly recommend that you try as much as you can to be in the present. To be in the present, it means don't try to finish the course. Try to be every day with the assignments and the tasks. Try to see what type of thoughts come up. Become more aware. Everything will become much more mindful when everything becomes quiet. In other words, when you don't have the distraction of food. One of the things that happens when you release your digestive system, which is one of the heaviest systems, is that the body has excessive energy to heal itself, and some of that excessive energy also goes up to your consciousness. So brilliant ideas might come, write them down. Have a journal or a diary that you write every day. During this week, I highly recommend not watching any normal TV. Of course, no news or anything like that. You are capable of doing whatever it is that you want. These are just guidelines, but these are guidelines that have been written in blood, as one might say. It's an expression in Hebrew. In other words, when you watch too much TV, you listen to the wrong type of music, to rap music or something like, there's a lot of curse words and stuff like that, be very gentle and humbling with yourself. You're trying to awaken your inner child, and your inner child doesn't like too many distractions. What your inner child does enjoy is love. See how you can love yourself more. If you will be surrounded in this week with people that don't support you, it's not a good place or time to do it. You have to prepare the people that are around you to the thing that you're going to experience. You're going to go through a dry fast, and they cannot be the little negative devil that is on your shoulder telling you, why are you doing this? You look bad, or you don't have to do this, or why don't you eat or drink? They're going to force you sometimes. So if you have people that are going to affect your process, reconsider doing it in a different place, a different environment, or explain to them. The best is to find a friend that wants to do it with you. Throughout this week, I recommend not to exercise too strongly. In other words, no running marathons, no going to the gym. You can do light stretches, you can do some yoga, you can do your regular routine if you're already in good shape, okay? Walking is always great. Throughout the dry fast, I'm not sure I would recommend walking too far, but walking is always good because it activates the whole body, okay, the whole system. I'm going to give you some breathing techniques. I'm going to give you some meditations that you're going to do once or twice a day. I'm going to give you some exercises that are more energy uplifting exercises, more similar to Tai Chi than anything else. And that's going to help you. So my friends, I covered pretty much everything that you need to know to start the process. I'll see you in tomorrow morning's video, which will be sent to you by email. Namaste, and remember to prepare yourself for a complete day of juice. Only juice. You don't have to have a lot of juice. Just go to the supermarket and buy whatever it is that you need, and buy an enema that you will use on the second day. Namaste, and I will see you tomorrow.